Hi there, it's Beth Williams. I'm here today to teach you a Warrior Fit class. It's a strength training class for yogis. By the way, I'm a yoga teacher and a personal trainer. So today you're going to need some weights. I've got a couple of 15-pound weights. Those are going to be for chest presses and a tabletop row. Also have a couple of 10-pounders just in case you want to use those in place of your chest press rows. I have a couple of 8-pound weights and we'll use those for overhead tricep extension and 2 5-pound weights for some bicep curls. I have one circular looped band that will be for monster walks, and if you're using the Balance From brand, it's a heavy band, so it's the level 5 out of 7, so it's 5th of the hardest band. Also have a bottle of water and a hand towel. You can get that if you would like to wipe off any sweat. And today I have a chair, so we're going to be using the chair for a couple of different things. One of them will be a squat, and the other one will be for a tricep dip. All right, so gather your props, and then when you are ready, you have your props ready, then we'll meet standing for some sun salutations and also some balancing. Let's do the balancing first. All right, so let's start off by balancing on the right foot. We'll do a tree pose today. So shifting your weight over into your right foot. Make sure the 4 corners of that right foot are rooted down. Your right knee is unlocked and you're not shifting your right hip over, trying to keep it pretty well in line with the right foot. Hands will be on the hips here. We're going to lift up that left knee and rotate the left thigh out, joining the foot either at the ankle, the calf, or the inner thigh. Once you feel like you are pretty steady and stable here, you can take your hands together in a prayer position at the heart center, finding a focal point to stare at, something that's not moving, preferably. And if you're feeling pretty steady, stable here, you can take your arms overhead. We'll hold for about 20 more seconds. If you come out of that, always come back into it to join us again if you fall out of the pose. All right, it's been 1 minute. You can take your hands back down, return that left foot to the floor. Shift your weight over into that left foot. Remember to seal the 4 corners of the foot down, unlock the knee, and then let's go ahead and lift up that right thigh, right knee, rotate the thigh out, and anchor the foot wherever it reaches on the leg, the inner leg. I like to squeeze the inner thigh and the foot in towards each other, so I have some pelvic floor strength helping me here. If you feel pretty steady, you can take your hands to your heart center in a prayer position. Just finding that focal point. And you might even take your arms overhead. Just about 15 more seconds. Perfectly normal to feel a little wibble wobble happening there at the foot or the ankle. Good, and let's go ahead and lower the hands down and the foot down. Okay, the more we practice that, the easier it gets, I guarantee. So we're going to start off at the top of the mat for a sun salutation. We'll do 3 of those. Feet about hip distance apart. On your inhalation, you'll reach the arms out and up. Just get a little taller here. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Take your hands down to the floor as you fold. Inhale, slide your hands up to the tops of your shins. Lengthen your spine. We'll call this halfway lift here. Exhale, plant your hands down to the floor. Step your right foot back and then your left foot back into a plank. Take a breath in. Good. Exhale, lower your knees down. Bend your elbows. My face is right here at these weights, so I'm just going to be really cautious not to let my face lower down into them. From bent elbows, inhale, straighten them, or work towards straightening them into a cobra. Exhale, push yourself up and back to downward facing dog pose. Take a breath in and out here. Exhaling out the air, we'll step the right foot forward and then the left foot forward. Coming into that halfway lift, take another breath in here. Exhale to forward fold, hands to the floor, bow in towards the thighs. Inhale to rise up, reach the arms up. Exhale to bring the hands together at the heart center. Inhale, reach arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can come to the shins there. Exhale, plant the hands down. Step the left foot back, then the right foot back to plank, and take a breath in here. Exhale, lower the knees down, bend your elbows to point them back, lower down. Try not to bump your head into your weights. Hips down, inhale, curl up cobra. And exhale back to downward dog. A breath in here. Exhale out your air. Step the left foot forward and the right foot forward. When you get to the top of the mat, inhale, come to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise up, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more sun salutation here. Inhale, stretch arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands down. Step the right and the left foot back. Inhale in your plank. Exhale, lower the knees, bend your elbows, about 90 degrees. Lower the hips, inhale, lift the chest, cobra. Exhale, push up and back to downward facing dog pose. Take a breath in here. Exhale out your air. Lightly walk or hop your feet forward to the top of the mat. And when you get there, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach the arms up. And exhale, hands to the heart center. Okay. So let's do a sumo squat and another warm up for the hips. And we'll add in a very light weight for the bicep curls with that. So I'm just going to use 5s. It's not my heaviest weight that I would use. So find that your heels are wider than your outer hips for this sumo squat. Turn the thighs and the feet outwards, about 45 degrees. Turn the palms to face forward here. Chest is lifted. On your inhalation, you're going to sit your hips back into a smaller squat. It's not your deepest squat. On your exhalation, drive through your feet. Bend your elbows to curl those weights. Inhale, send those hips back. So it's a warm up or lubricating the joints here. Exhale to rise. You're priming the muscles for our workout. You know, when I was 20 and 30, I could just go right into a workout or right into some of the harder yoga poses without much of a warm-up at all. But these days,
kind of like have a, one of those older cars that been sitting in the garage that you have to turn on and warm up before you get out into that, cold air and on the road. Let things just circulate a little bit before we rev that engine up. So that's 10, let's do 5 more. Never thought that would happen to me, right? We think we're invincible when we're younger. Happens to the best of us, doesn't it? If we're lucky, when we get to grow older. 1 more. We just have to know how to change, right? Change and adapt. Okay, so you're done with those weights. Let's do 1 more warm up. We'll take our feet out wide for warrior 2. We'll do a moving or a dancing warrior 2. I'll be your mirror here. So as I instruct, we'll take that right heel out, set it down, turn the left toes out 90 degrees, and take your hands together in Anjali Mudra. Notice how I have my torso counter twisted to the right. So my torso is more facing the long side of the mat to start. Good. Crown of the head shines up towards the sky. We'll take a breath in here. On the exhalation, bend your left knee, take your arms out into a T, turn your head to look past your left fingertips. Inhale, bring your hands back into the heart center. Turn your head to face forward, straighten that left knee. Good. Exhale, take the arms out into a T shape, looking past the fingertips of the left hand. Inhale, hands to heart. Straighten the front knee. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, hands to heart. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, hands to heart. Exhale, warrior 2. Let's do 4 more like that at your own pace. And just really trying to keep the feet equally weighted, equally rooted. So try not to put more weight into the front foot in particular. 2 more on this side. Good. Go ahead and parallel your feet with your hands together at the heart center. And then we'll pivot that left heel out, set it down. Pivot the right toes out, set those guys down. Counter twist your torso a little bit to the left. Take a breath in here. On your exhale, warrior 2, looking past the right fingertips. Inhale, hands to heart center, turning head to center. Exhale, warrior 2. Now I'm gonna go a little bit slower on this side, just because my left knee, my kneecap, will pop quite a bit on this. It's my left knee, but I guess it would be your right. So I'm just gonna go a little bit slower, really working the eccentric phase of the contraction. And I get less popping, more contraction. I'm also lifting that heel, so it would be your right heel, my left heel, just to get a little bit more engagement through the hamstrings, through the calves. Let's do 3 more like that. Last time. We got to work with what we have, right? So I'm not going to keep it from allowing me to move. I'm just gonna work with what I have, work around it. Take the feet in together. Excellent, so we are good with our warm-up. All systems are go. And I'm just gonna grab my chair here. So, I'm gonna face the chair so that I can face the camera so you can see here. So, the reason why I'm doing this type of a squat, it's kind of like a sit to stand squat, but more challenging, is because I find that even myself, but a lot of people that I talk to that I work with, whenever they're going to get up out of a chair, they tend to use the handles on the chair or the arms of the chair to push themselves up, okay? Or let's say you're seated on a toilet, you might grab the wall or push back onto part of that toilet to get up. And so I really want to bring the idea of using your legs and not your upper body whenever you're sitting into the height of a chair or a commode. So this chair works pretty well for me, the height of the chair. If you have longer legs and you're using a folding chair, you might want to put a pad down so that your knees are more in line with your hips, okay, so that you're just elevating your hips a little bit, okay? So I'm going to take my squat stance, and I know for me, my heels tend to be wider than my outer hips, and I've got an angle out from my hips through my knees and my feet. I also have my heels set a little further back from the knees, and I am pretty well grounded through both of the sit bones. So make sure you're checking all of those before you get started. I'm going to interlace my fingers just right out in front of the chest. I'm going to put my weight forward into my feet and shift my weight forward through the chest. And then as I drive through the feet, I'm going to stand. So that part's pretty easy. And then from here, I want you to lower down nice and slow. And don't sit down. Just lightly tap your two sit bones onto the chair. Don't sit down. And then exhale, come back up. Now the chair is there if you lose your balance and you feel like you need to sit down, but just best you can. Use your leg muscles. We'll keep going. So let's inhale as we reach the sit bones back. Exhale as we rise up. Inhale, reach those sit bones back. Exhale, rise up. Let's do 10 more. Inhale, sit bones back. Exhale, up. Do not sit down. It's tempting, it's a chair. That's what we do with a chair, we sit in them. They go slow. Just barely tap those sit bones down. Don't sit down. 5 more. There's that fine balance of, reaching for the chair and not letting yourself plop down. There's that fine balance where you feel like you might just want to give in. See if you can resist that. Last 2. So to really focus and concentrate. Okay, did you sit down? It's okay, really. We'll just do better next time, right? Okay. So I'm going to turn the chair for a moment so you can see the next thing that we're going to do. So as I mentioned earlier, tricep dips. So in the gym, I use one of those tricep dip assistant machines, and you can adapt the amount of weight to assist you. So we don't have that here. So to assist us, we're going to use the strength of our legs instead. So let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to sit down first. It's okay to sit down. And I'm going to bring my hands so that I'm wrapping my fingertips underneath the bottom of the chair and my thumbs are on top of the chair seat. And then my hands are pretty close to the front edge of the seat. I'm going to unlock my elbows, walk my feet forward. So my hips are now hovering above the ground. Keep the chest lifted, the eyes forward. Now as you inhale, you're going to lower yourself down so you have about a 90-degree bend at the elbows. Try not to let your shoulders round forward here. So try to keep your chest lifted as best you can. And then exhale, push through the feet as much as you need to straighten your elbows. So we'll do 10 of these. Inhale, bend the elbows. Exhale, push with your legs to assist the tricep extension. Inhale, bend. Exhale, press. Inhale, bend. Exhale, press. Inhale, bend. Exhale, press. And I'm really trying to find that fine line of bending my elbows to a degree without harming the head of the arm bones, the front shoulders, and keeping some assistance through the legs. And so it might not be a perfect 90-degree bend at the elbows, but that's okay. Do one more. Scoot yourself back up onto the chair. Okay, those are done really well with a mirror if you want to try those out at some point. If you have a mirror at home, so you can see that you're not letting your head of your arm bone roll forward as you bend the elbow. That's a difficult thing to maneuver really well. If there's pain in the head of the arm bone, when you're doing that at any time, even if you think you have good form, don't do these, okay? So instead, you'll do your tricep extension, overhead extension, and let's all do these together. And hey, we got a chair today, so go ahead and sit in your chair. Sit at the front edge of the chair. So I'm going to use 2 8-pound weights here. Actually, I think I can do 2 8-pound weights. I doubted myself. We'll see. So I'm gonna hold on to the heads of the dumbbells just right underneath those guys. Start with my arms straight. See if I can get my fingers close together there. Elbows are close in towards the temples. And as I inhale, I'm going to bend my elbows about 90 degrees or more. And as I exhale, I'm going to straighten the elbows up towards the sky. So we'll do 10 of these. Inhale, bend the elbows. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Last 4. Exhale, straighten. Exhale. Last 2. So I can tell that I really worked my, last one I'll tell you here in a second. I can tell that I really worked my right side on those dips more than my left side, because my right side fatigued earlier on than the left side when I was doing the overhead tricep extension. So, it's just information. It's something that I'll keep in mind when I'm doing my dips the next time around. And so you might have noticed something similar or different or not at all, but it's just, I'm always trying to take in information and adjust accordingly the next time around. Okay, so I'm just gonna move the chair out of the way. And let's grab our red band, our heavy resistance band, and place it around your feet, around your ankles to be more specific. So right around the ankles. And actually I want to give myself a little bit more space, so I'm going to move that chair forward. for monster walks. So I'm gonna start over on the left side of the mat, and maybe even a little off the mat. And we're gonna go for 1 full minute in a monster walk. So you can sit into your baby squat, and then we'll go ahead and begin. So walking the right foot out and joining the left foot to hip distance apart. And really working the outer hip to bring that foot out into abduction, and then we'll switch over and go the other direction. Now, if anytime this feels like it's just too much, you can straighten your legs, way easier. So going slow and controlled here. And then go in the other direction. So I spent some time on the treadmill over the weekend at home. Some of you know this, I think I shared on Facebook. And I might have jogged a little bit. Don't tell anybody. I think I told you before I don't run. Not anymore, but I might have jogged a little bit. Okay, we're done there. We went a little bit over a minute, about 1 minute and 20 seconds. Set that band down. I felt compelled to jog. I don't know what to say. Things were going well that day. But I can feel it. I can feel it in my hips and my hamstrings and my glutes. So it feels good. So let's do a tabletop row. I'm going to pad my knees with my blanket. I'm also going to grab a 15-pound weight. So we'll just do single arm rows and then switch over to the other side. So I've got my 15. Starting off in tabletop. My knees beneath the hips are slightly back. My left hand forward. A little bit of the shoulder, my right hand set back. And my spine and head in neutral. Okay, so let's go for about 15 repetitions. And ready? Breathe in first. As you exhale, row. Try not to let your elbow come up above the rib cage too much, because then you'll allow that head of the arm bone to round forward and shear forward. Kind of like the same thing I was talking about with those tricep dips. Just keeping the shoulder blade retracting towards the spine as you pull the weight up. Also resisting gravity here. So this is 10. So maybe 5 more. You can get them in. Last one. Okay. Other side. Just roll that weight over to the left hand. Plant the right palm a little forward of the shoulder. Line up your spine, neutral spine. Take a breath in before you begin. And exhale, lift that weight. Inhale, tap it down. Exhale, lift. That's 5. That's 10. See if you can do 5 more. If you chose a lighter weight, you might do a few more. And that's 15 altogether. All right. Excellent. We are going to come back onto our feet and grab our chair again. We'll do a different variation, of the squat. So just go ahead and move your blanket aside for now. So this is a staggered foot squat, a kickstand version of a pistol squat. It's okay if you have to sit down onto the chair as you lower down. I certainly have to, so these are hard. I'll preface it that way. So let's go ahead and start with the right foot just set a little further back from the right knee. And we're not going to go full on straight leg kickstand with the left hand. We're just going to stagger that foot forward. So you can see it's not even a full footprint forward. Okay, interlace your fingers. Now I can probably do about 5 of these in good form. After 5 of those, my form crumbles a little bit. So this is one of my weaker points, and I know that about myself. So here we go. Interlace fingers, hinge forward from the hip. I'm going to put more weight into the right foot. Let's exhale up, inhale down. Nice and slow on the way down. Exhale up, inhale down, nice and slow. So that's where the work is. The easy part is coming up. The hard part is slowly lowering yourself down, really using that right leg. And when I say about my form starting to crumble, so you can start to look down at the right knee and the thigh and see if you can keep that knee from wobbling out to the side. So see if you can do 4 more with that focus. Look down at your right thigh and your knee and try to keep your foot, your ankle, your thigh, your knee from wibble wobbling. Try to keep everything pretty well stationary, stable. Remember, it's harder on the way down. 2 more. 2 more. You know, it's okay. Just laugh at myself because it keeps me from crying. Okay, excellent. So we did about 10 on that side. We're going to set up for the other side. So if you're doing them quick, you're using a lot of momentum, which is fine, but we do them a little bit slower and controlled. We're going to get stronger, and then when we're able to do them quicker, our form will be much better. So there'll be less of this wobble wobble that happens. So I've got the left foot staggered back a little bit. The heel is slightly behind the knee. I've got my right foot not quite a full footprint forward. Interlace the fingers. Okay, start to shift your weight forward, particularly more into that left foot, the foot that's further back. Okay, ready? Exhale, slowly rise all the way up to upright. Inhale, slowly lower down. And I'm going to be looking down, especially when I'm lowering down. I'm going to be looking down at that leg that's furthest back to make sure that I'm pretty stable through the joints. Nice and slow. Try not to plop down. 5 more. After a little while, you'll start to feel your core is really working too. 2 more. Probably hear the creaking in the video. That's my chair. It's not my body, thank goodness. And then last time up. Okay, really well done. So next up, we've got those tricep dips. And remember the precautions I gave you earlier, the contraindications. So if you're finding that your arm bone's rolling forward when you're lowering down, or there's pain, then you can do those tricep extensions the entire time, the overhead tricep extensions. Otherwise, we'll start off seated here. Now, the information I got last time was that my right side was probably working harder. So I'm gonna try to put a little bit more focus on this left arm here. All right, so I've got my hands placed. I'm gonna scoot my bum forward a bit. Unlock the elbows. Inhale, lower. Exhale, you can drive through your feet to help assist. So see how many you can do in good form. And then you can switch over to the tricep extension. So I'm going to go for 10. Oh yeah, I can feel my left side is more focused now. Last one there. You know you worked really well if you can hardly get your hips back up onto the chair. So instead of 2 8s, I'm going to work with 1 10 for my tricep extensions. So I'm just going to hold one weight with both of my hands. Sitting down. I'm sitting to the front edge of the chair. My hands are closest to the head of the dumbbell that's going to be facing the ceiling. Okay, so I'm actually going to hold like this. Okay, you ready? Inhale, bend those elbows. Exhale, straighten the arms. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Try to keep your spine and your abdomen equally engaged. So I do have to bring my head a little bit more forward than what I like. So spine isn't perfectly neutral. Just so I don't hit the back of my head with this dumbbell. And if it's a heavier weight, then it hurts more. Oh my goodness. I think I can do one more. Ooh, all right. Very good. Okay, so I'm going to set that weight down. And instead of doing monster walks with the band, we're going to do a squat with abduction. So I'll show you what that is. Done with the chair. Okay, so we'll do 10 of these in a row. You want to make sure that you have ample room for your leg to make an outward abduction without running into anything. Okay. So I'm going to find my squat stance. So for me, it's a little bit wider than my hips, and I'll interlace my fingers here. And so it's on the inhale that I'm going to take a squat. On the exhale, I'm going to shift my weight into my right foot, straighten my right leg, and take the left leg out. Come back down into the squat as I inhale, equalize through both feet. Exhale, shift back over, same leg, and abduct the leg, okay? So here we go, let's do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, try to come back to center every time. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's do the other side. And switch your brain around. So you're ready for the other side. Inhale, squat. Exhale, left leg is rooted, right leg goes out to the side. 2, 3, 4, 5, back to center each time. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I'm going to take a little sip of water. Towel off. Grab my blanket for tabletop rows. Okay. So, 10s or 15s. One weight, pick one. So I started with my right hand last time doing the row. So I'm going to start with the left hand doing the row. And since I'm going down in weight this time, what I'm going to do to challenge myself a different way is to bring the right leg back into like a plank position, plank leg, and try to equalize weight through the right foot, the left knee. Neutral spine, best you can here. Ready? Breathe in first. Exhale, pull, left side row. Inhale, tap, weight down. Exhale, pull. Inhale, lower. That's 10. 14, 15. Lower that right knee down. Take a moment and reconnoiter a little bit. And we'll get ready for the second side. So right arm, single arm row. Left hand as a support is down. Right knee is down. Option of your left leg straight like a plank leg. And I know for me I have to unlock my elbows. So if you're an elbow locker, unlock them. Ready? Inhale first. Exhale, row. Minimal movement in the body, please. You're just really trying to focus on moving through your right arm. Retracting that right shoulder blade towards the spine as you pull. Oh yeah, unlock the elbow. That's 10. Last 2. All right. Probably could have done 15s, but you know, every day's different. Sometimes you just don't know. So I wish I had some 12-pound weights. In this little town, it's hard for me to find 12-pound weights. I've looked for years. Should probably go online and order, right? Okay, so let's just shift gears a little bit. So we're going to do some chest presses. Looking to see how much time we have here. Let's do chest presses, 2 sets in a row, and then single leg bridge, and then we'll stretch. Okay. So 2 sets in a row. I'm going to use my 15s today. You might grab your 10s or your 8s, whatever you're working with. Okay, knees are bent, and I'm going to rock and roll back. Straighten my arms, set my shoulders, neutral spine, ready? Inhale, bend those elbows. Exhale, press. Inhale, bend. Exhale, press. Inhale, bend. Exhale, press. Press with your chest. Blow out of your mouth. That's 5. This is 10. Last 2. Okay, so you might have noticed those were harder than previous Warrior Fit classes because we did a lot of triceps first. So when you work your secondary muscles first, it makes it to where you can't push the weight as well. So I knew we were doing that. And so it's okay to change it up a little bit like that. I like to challenge myself in that way sometimes. So I'm gonna go down in weight because of that. We wanna stay safe, and I know that my muscles were starting to go into failure there. So 10 pounders, second set chest press. Set yourself up, neutral spine, shoulders set. Ready, inhale, lower, exhale, press. Inhale, lower, exhale, press. I can definitely push this weight with much more ease. Some of you are probably stuck with your heavier weight. And if you did, that's fine, but just keep in mind you might not be able to do as many. This is 10. So even here, this is hard for me to finish the last 5. 2 more. Goodness gracious, okay. I'm going to use these 10-pound weights, both of them, for my single leg bridge. So I'm just going to roll them and set them on my pelvis. My arms are done, you guys. They are toast. So I'm going to set the weight there and just use my hands to keep them from rolling. And I'm going to shift my weight over into my left foot and lift my right foot off of the floor. And if you are feeling too fatigued to lift the whole foot off of the floor, you can just lift your right heel and keep the right toes down. Okay, here we go. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Lift your butt, exhale. Inhale, lower. Lift your butt. Lower. Lift. Lower. You're using your left leg, guys. Really push through that left foot. Last 4. Two more. Try not to get that in your neck. So if you feel like your shoulders are elevating away from the floor, consider just having that lifted foot, having the heel lifted instead, or you can get rid of one of your weights, okay? So second side, right foot roots. Either lift your left heel or your left foot. And when you're ready, exhale, lift your butt. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Lift. Keep going. Driving through that right foot. So lift your hips. Try to lift them evenly, right and left. Oh, that side's tired. I can barely lift. Last one here. Woo. Okay. Feels good to be done with the workout. So we got to get those weights off of the pelvis. So I'm just going to lift them, rock and roll up, and we'll stretch to end the class. Come back onto your back. We'll take figure 4 with the right ankle to the left thigh. Externally rotate that right thigh bone. And reach up and grab the back of your left thigh. Pull the legs in close to you. So we're just going to do one stretch today. That's all we have the time for. Straighten your left leg. Little extra bonus hamstring stretch. Pull your left toes towards the shin. Okay, pull your right toes towards your right shin. Your left toes towards your left shin. If you want to do a little more stretching, when the video's over, go ahead and feel free to stretch a little more, or maybe do a yoga class. Okay, other side, left ankle, right thigh. Pull your left toes back. Reach up, grab the back of your right thigh, lower your head down. That left thigh externally rotates. The right leg straightens, the right toes pull down towards the shin. So I was still a little bit sore from Warrior Fit class from last week on Friday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, just a little bit sore through the chest, but it wasn't anything major. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your workouts. If you're not spacing them out far enough, it's another indication that you might want to lower your weights if you're still sore in the areas that we're going to be working. Okay, we're going to rock and roll up and come into a seat. I'm going to finish off with a quote today. All the art of living lies in a fine mingling of letting go and holding on. Havelock Ellis wrote that. Well, it's like that sometimes, isn't it? I know sometimes I hold on to conversations or arguments or whatever it is, right? You gotta hold on to it and let it eat you up sometimes, and if you don't work through that, it can really hold you down, hold you back in life, and make you upset and frustrated and resentful. And so learning how to let that go, and sometimes just maybe even apologizing, even if you feel you weren't 100% wrong, right? Just to kind of bring some peace back into your life can make such a big difference. And I know I've had to do that many times in my life, and it's made such a big difference in my relationships with family and friends and loved ones, so, and even enemies. So maybe that's not exactly what that quote is talking about, but I think that does apply to what I'm talking about. So you can use it towards some other thing where you feel like you're kind of holding on, and you got to try to find the balance of letting go. So thank you for practicing with me today, and I hope you'll join me for another Warrior Fit and maybe even a yoga class. So check it out, and feel free to leave a comment below the video letting me know how you did, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.